Tech Nation. We have a wonderful episode for you this evening. We have a recent recruit commit for women's basketball, Miss Lacey Steele. We're excited to have her. She'll be joining us next year with the 2023 class, which is being stacked as a nice class. We have a bunch of top 50, 75 players. We've already got Lacey is our third commit to this class. So yeah, we're just happy to have you, Lacey. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It's our pleasure. So we'll jump right in. So you're from Edmond, Oklahoma, which most state fans probably couldn't point that on a map. We don't get a lot of recruits from Oklahoma. I couldn't. I'd be like, it's one of those flat ones out there west. So, but just tell us a little bit about Edmond, Oklahoma, and just a little bit about yourself from your life out there in the Midwest.
Yeah, so Edmond is a suburb of OKC, so it's just north of OKC. I live about 30 minutes from downtown. There are 3 high schools in Edmond, so it's a pretty big, suburb. We have rival high schools. There's 3 high schools. Edmond North is the best, obviously. But yeah, it's really fun, good rivalries, just local town, lots of things to do. OKC is pretty fun as well. So
yeah, so you go to North Edmond, right? I think that's what we've established. You guys are the state defending state champions. You guys are Class 6A. For those that don't understand the classes, is 6A the highest out in Oklahoma, or is there anything higher than that?
6A is the highest.
Okay. All right. So you're coming from a big school out there in Oklahoma, so the competition's really good. So just kind of put things in perspective. Yeah, so you're a guard. Looks like you play mostly off the ball from the highlights that I've seen, but you do enjoy driving the basket a lot. I see that seems to be like your move there. Just talk us a little bit about your game.
Yeah, so I would say I am a scorer. That's usually like what I do. I originally, when I started playing basketball, I was known as a driver. I've now extended my game to being a shooter. So I always, revert back to driving. It just comes pretty natural to me. I love contact. But, now I enjoy shooting just as much. So.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, your stat line would prove that. You're average just under 22 points a game. A little over 7.5 rebounds and almost 3 steals a game. So you're a very well-rounded player. Is there a particular part of your game that you enjoy the most? Like you prefer the offensive side, the defensive side? You like to muck it up, it looks like, with almost 8 rebounds a game.
Yeah, I would say I think offense can be pretty fun. I think one ways that I score a lot, as well as getting offensive rebounds. I think that's an underrated part of basketball sometimes, just getting those easy points. I get 6 points a game off of rebounds, especially in high school. But yeah, I'd say rebounding is pretty fun, and I like to drive to the lane, get and ones as well.
Yeah. And so you were the Central Oklahoma Player of the Year, and you were also recognized to be a part of the Super 5, I think, team of the Oklahoman, which is the paper there in Oklahoma City, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Michael, you got anything to kick us off with over there on your side?
Well, I had a more of a fun question about Oklahoma, because I've seen this. It's one of those dumb internet arguments. Do you consider Oklahoma the Midwest, or do you consider Oklahoma the South? Because I've seen people argue both ways.
Personally, I would say it's the Midwest, because when I think of South, I think of like those thick country accents. And
oh, you got an accent now. Come on.
That's crazy. No, but I think of like sweet tea and I don't know, just random things like that. And I would say where I live, it's definitely not the South.
Got you. Do you like sweet tea? Because if you don't, you better learn to like it coming out to North Carolina.
I like unsweet tea. Personally.
Oh, I think you'll get converted at some point. I think it'll happen. Once you go to Bojangles, I'm sure you don't even know what Bojangles is yet. But once you go,
I've had it. Well, actually, I've seen it. I haven't had it.
Gotcha. So. don't worry. I only had it for the second time this past weekend. It's okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's just talk about a little about growing up. Were you always a basketball fan, a player? Like, I mean, was that like your first love, your first sport growing up?
I played many sports growing up. I played softball, soccer, and basketball. I used to be a lot taller than a lot of my peers. As time came about, I leveled out. But I was really good at basketball, and I was super aggressive. And it was just the best sport. Like softball was too boring for me personally, so I just liked basketball the most, and stuck with it.
Gotcha.
Is there anybody you try to model your game after?
I wouldn't say anyone specifically. I look up to like Kobe and like Michael Jordan just because of their work ethic and things like that.
Yeah. So speaking of Kobe, I'm assuming is that why you wear number 24?
No, it's actually not.
Okay.
It worked out that way, but when I was playing at the YMCA, like a little rec league, I had the number 24, and when I switched over to competitive, I remembered like, oh, I had 24, I want to be 24, and I just stuck with it.
Gotcha. Yeah, because until you mentioned Kobe before, Kobe, I totally forgot that he was 24. Then I was like, wait, Kobe's 24, and then I know that you're 24, so I just didn't know if there was a correlation there. But no, that's super cool. So I guess we'll just jump into your recruitment. You had a lot of Power 5 offers. From your schools there in Oklahoma, both of the major schools there. But you got down to your final 5, and that was Northwestern, Georgia Tech, Texas A&M, Southern Cal, and then us. Just kind of walk us through, your recruitment process, what you liked, just talk us through it.
So my recruitment process, the last part of summer or like August, I took official visits. I had visited most schools unofficially, and that's kind of how I narrowed it down to start with. And you're only allowed 4 official visits, so I happened to I visited Georgia Tech unofficially. So I visited the other 4 officially, and I really did that just to make sure I was making the right decision. And it was a great experience. I definitely not regretting going to all 4. But yeah, it was good. When I came to NC State, I kind of had a feeling like this is where I was supposed to be, but I still went to Southern Cal just to make sure.
Yeah, of course.
Because I wasn't going to leave any, stone unturned. So that's kind of how it went. And then, once I knew, I called Coach Moore the next day and, let him know.
Yeah. So you said when you got to State, you just knew. What is it about that you just like, were you at a certain spot on campus? Is it, were you in the gym? Were you just talking to someone? Like what was that aha moment for you?
I think for me, we were in the gym. It was like after practice on Saturday, and we were in the gym, and like the video guy who's responsible for making videos and things like that made a video for me, and it just like really made me imagine like myself being at NC State and the fans. I really pictured myself there with the amazing coaches I was sitting next to and the girls I had met. So yeah, that was kind of the moment, I suppose.
Yeah. So you got to go into Reynolds Coliseum and kind of take that in a little bit. What were your initial thoughts, and do you kind of know the history of that arena at all? Did they talk to you about that?
Yes, they did a little. I love the arena. I believe it's just for the women's, right?
Yeah. For the women's, yeah. The guys play a couple of games there during the winter break, but we also use that for volleyball, gymnastics, and wrestling as well. But yeah, mainly for women's basketball.
Yeah. It was awesome. It was a beautiful gym.
Yeah. Michael, what do you got over there?
So what's the official visit like, the timeline? Because I feel like a lot of people don't really realize what an official visit kind of consists of. So could you kind of explain that on what the timeline is there and what you go
It's pretty
through?
jam-packed, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. So I would fly out Thursday. On all my visits, I flew out Thursday. I would get there Thursday night, and they weren't allowed to start the visit until Friday. So early Friday morning, you're going to breakfast, you know, with the coaches. Then you're usually doing meetings the first day. You eat 3 meals a day, so you're eating really good. You're never hungry.
Yeah.
So meetings, usually the first day, watch a practice sometimes. And then usually Saturday, you kind of I watch practice in the morning at NC State that Saturday. And then I was done with meetings. So we went to the football game on Saturday. And I hung out with the girls after that, after dinner.
Before we continue, I want to take a quick second to tell you about our sponsor, Flightland's Jessup Insurance Group, that has your whole world covered, with agents in 5 offices throughout eastern North Carolina to help you decide how much coverage you need, offering policies for home and auto, recreational vehicles, commercial, crop, health, life, and employee benefits. They are able to combine options to find a comprehensive solution that works for you. Flightland's Jessup protects the things you love so you can spend less time worrying and more time enjoying them. Find them on Facebook and Instagram at Flightland's Jessup. You can also visit their webpage at www.flightlandsjessup.com. So please make sure to go and check them out.
And when you go there, do you work out at all, or it's just more of just observation? I mean, they already know what they're getting type thing.
Yeah. You just watch and observe.
Gotcha. So, do you already have a favorite spot on campus? Like, I mean, obviously you did all the facilities. Like, did you go to like the Freedom Expression Tunnel? Did you check out some other cool sites on the campus?
I have been to the Expression Tunnel on my unofficial.
Gotcha.
I actually spray painted it a little bit.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, but
there you go.
Other than that, I haven't really seen maybe hidden gems, or I don't have a special place yet or favorite place yet.
Gotcha. So how? All right, now you mentioned it, how was it like just tagging the tunnel? Like, that's probably kind of weird, right? Like, it's something that your parents always tell you not to do, and you get to do it.
Yeah, I've never spray painted anything in my life, so it was a good experience.
Yeah, that's the first time I always saw that. I mean, that thing dates back a long time, and it's just one of those interesting spots on campus, and it's just speak your mind, and there's some awesome artwork. I've seen some things out there that just blow your mind. But I am curious. We do like to talk to people about this one subject, and it's not an official basketball related question. But while you were on campus, did you go check out Howlin' Cow ice cream?
No, but I did hear lots about it.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I'm a big guy. I like my ice cream, so I'm all about the Howlin' Cow ice cream. It's some of the most delicious stuff. But you're an athlete. You got to stay fit, and you don't get to eat those sweets like some of us do. But so let's talk a little bit about your high school. By the way, your high school gym is amazing. Like, from the videos that I've seen, like from your reels, that's an impressive gym that you guys have there. Are all the gyms like that that you play in?
Yeah, there's some nice ones in Oklahoma. There are bigger schools than than that gym. There's like an arena one in Union, that high school, and Mustang. They have a huge gym, bigger than ours. And ours, we actually just redid like the tile around the top and the walkway. And we don't have banners anymore. We have these things we have a track upstairs.
Okay.
So instead of having banners, we kind of have our state title on the wall up there. Gotcha. So that's new. But I would say Edmond Santa Fe, which is the other Edmond school, they have an even bigger gym than we do. And then Memorial has a smaller gym. But gotcha. All in all, they're nice gyms.
Yeah, look, I mean, I graduated high school years ago, but we never had anything that nice. Like we had wooden bleachers. There was cracks in the floor. But yeah, that's a nice place to play some ball. I mean, the lighting was great in there, and but yeah, um, getting back to your recruitment. Who was the lead recruiter for state for you? Was it Coach Moore, or were there other coaches involved in that?
I would say at first, the first person to reach out to me was Coach Brittany.
Mm-hmm.
So I talked to her after the Boo Williams tournament in April. Talked to her and then went on a unofficial. Started connecting with Coach Moore after that, and then after July, he had offered me. So then I started connecting with all of the assistants and him.
Gotcha. So it was actually a quick process for you because you just got offered or you got the first call in April, and then you just committed 2 weeks ago. I think it is now 3 weeks ago, something like that.
It was last Wednesday.
Was it well, wow, man. Okay. It feels like so much longer. So,
yeah.
But still, in about a 5-month process for you. Was, I guess, your intent all along was to have it done before your basketball season? Was that the plan all along, or it just kind of worked out that way for you?
I did plan to have it done around this time of year, before season started, before the signing period happened, kind of early October, fall-ish time.
Gotcha.
And
go ahead, Michael.
With your recruitment, obviously the coaches are leading that, but do you get like current players that reach out to you and are sort of also recruiting you? And does that, if so, does that have an impact? Did that have an impact on your decision?
I would say the players definitely commented on my stuff, saying that I needed to go Wolfpack and things like that. But yeah, I definitely would say like the love I got from the coaches and players definitely played a big role.
Yeah. Have you talked to any of your fellow recruits? I know Zoe Brooks is one, and I'm for the life of me, I can't remember the other one. Mallory. Yes. Thank you. Mallory. Have you been talking to them at all? Like you guys, been working on any kind of plans to try to get anybody else to come join you? Like, how's that going for you?
Last weekend, I actually participated in the Wooten Top 150 camp in Mansfield, just outside of Dallas. And both Zoe Brooks and Mallory were there. So I was actually on a 3-on-3 team with Zoe, which was super cool, just to kind of play with her. I played against her, but never with her. So it was definitely interesting. I think we played well together, which is always a good sign.
Yeah.
And then we took a picture with me and her, and Mallory took a picture. So I met Mallory as well, talked with her a little bit.
I don't think you posted that one on social because I would have seen it. I don't know. Well, at least on Twitter. I'm a Twitter guy, so maybe.
I know my mom took the picture. I don't think I have it on my phone.
Got you. Okay. But yeah, I saw that you did that Wooten camp last weekend, and you were getting some shout outs on Twitter. I don't know if you know this, but obviously that's named after Morgan Wooten, who had some state connections. 2 of our players from the '83 team actually played for Morgan Wooten back in the day at DeMatha up in Maryland. And then Morgan was almost one of our coaches. He almost became our head coach back in the day. So a legendary coach. And I think it's his son that runs that camp now, if I'm not mistaken. But no, I've seen all of your circuits. You've played in that. Boo's a big one. He's probably the most legendary one for the Nike circuit. Tell me about some of the places that your tournaments have taken you, and maybe like something under the radar that maybe people don't know about all that time during these type of tournaments.
So I played on the Nike circuit, and we have 3 really big tournaments. And that is Boo Williams, which was all of the Nike teams. Mm-hmm. I think there's like 12, 13. I'm not sure. But there's quite a few. And my team, like, no one thought we were going to win, and we won.
Yep, I saw that, yeah.
And I think we played 6 games, something like that. and won all 6. And then we had June. You really don't do a lot, like tournament wise. It's kind of preparing for July. You know, you just played in April. You're just preparing, and you do some high school things. I know a lot of high schools have some stuff. So we were just preparing. Like I would go every weekend down to Dallas to practice with my pro skills team. And we practiced 2 times on Saturday, once on Sunday. And then July, you play in like a tournament. I played in Iowa. They split it up. So I think it was Iowa and Kentucky. And half the teams go to Iowa, half the teams go to Kentucky. So we won in Iowa. And then all of the teams circle back and play in Nike Nationals. And that's like the biggest thing in Chicago. You play on these special courts, black courts. There's about 100 other courts. I think there's like 8 of the black courts or something like that. I don't know. But it was really cool experience. I would definitely say Nike Nationals had the most hype. It was definitely for all the marbles. So it was definitely the biggest. Crazy experience. I've never played on the Nike circuit in Chicago. So it was definitely a really cool experience for sure.
Yeah, with all that travel, it sounds like you got a lot of frequent flyer miles. So hopefully you're getting the good upgrades. And I mean, I'm a road warrior. I go to all the state. I was just talking. We went to Clemson for the football game this past weekend, and once it's all said and done, I think I'm gonna have about 5,000 miles on my car this year just for football. So I'll probably add another 25 or 3,000 miles for women's basketball, and then probably another couple hundred miles for men's baseball. So I get the road warrior mentality, but all right, well, we're going to pause here for part 1. We're going to come back with part 2, and we're going to talk about her actual, you know, a little bit more about her recruitment, and then her announcement day. Her announcement day was pretty interesting, and something I had never seen, and I can't wait to talk to you about it. So Wolfpack Nation, you have to come back for part 2. But hey, let's if you haven't liked and subscribed to our channel, I don't know what you're waiting for. It's the fastest growing NC State channel out there. So you should do that. And then while you're at it, ring that bell so you can get notified on these great interviews like we have with Lacey. Lacey, if you want to throw out all your socials real quick, and then we'll make sure to post those too. So go ahead and give those to us real quick.
So my Twitter is at Lacey Steele 2023. And my Instagram is at Lacey S Steele with 2 S's.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, Wolfpack Nation. So that'll wrap it up for part 1. Come on back for part 2. I think you'll enjoy it.